What's up guys, it's Meg. Today I have two videos coming out for you. This first video is going to be on the Hunters or the Marauders. There's been a lot of speculation on if these guys that we saw in the house with Rick are the Marauders from the comics or the Hunters. And there's been a lot of everyone trying to figure out who's who, and I want to share with you guys my theory, and it's not really, I can't take credit for it. One of my viewers, KDriver82, I think is her name, came up with most of this and posted it in the comments in one of my videos, and it made so much sense. I had already been kind of thinking along those lines, but everything that she put together just made a lot of sense along with what I was thinking, so I thought that I would just share that with you guys since I know a lot of you have been wondering whether or not they're the Hunters or not. So here we go. Okay, so my theory and her theory is that these guys that we saw in the house with Rick, we know that they're really bad guys. You know, clearly they were fighting over the bed. One guy just wrestled the guy and made him pass out, and they potentially either killed or seriously harmed the man downstairs that was screaming when Rick woke up. So we know that these guys are not good guys. They also mentioned, not flat out saying it, but you can get that they were wanting to rape the woman, which was really Michonne, that had been staying in the house if she came back. So we know that these guys are pretty awful. The question comes into play though, is we've been waiting for the Hunters to come in. We don't know for sure if they were coming in this season or not, but really they are the next kind of big enemy that we see in the comic books. But before they enter the comic books, there is a very small portion where, now I guess everyone on the internet has been calling these guys the Marauders. I don't remember actually them having that name in the comics, but they were more like bandits. That being said, I don't remember everything from the comics, but these guys in the comics came upon Rick and Carl when they were sleeping in their car shortly after the prison, and they attempted to rape Carl, and it was a pretty awful scene. I think that Rick took a chunk out of the guy's neck, you know, because it was just really awful. It was an awful scene. That being said, they're easy to forget about because they weren't in the comics. They weren't a huge part of the comics. But I can see where the end of season 4 is potentially going to have these guys be the main conflict that we see, and maybe we won't even see the Hunters at all until next season. That being said, here are the reasons why I believe that these guys are the Marauders and not the Hunters. First off, there's just been a lot of clues. In the first half of the season with the governor and Martinez, when the governor comes to Martinez's camp, shortly after he arrives there, they head out on a mission to a cabin in the woods. On the way to the cabin, they see a group, just a small camp in the woods, that they have this nice setup, you know, and they're kind of going about their daily business. They don't know they're being watched. They decide not to attack the camp and take their supplies. So Martinez and the governor and the rest of his guys, they go out to this cabin, and at the cabin they see these dead bodies. I believe all of them were decapitated, although I kind of thought one of them wasn't. I can't really remember. But these bodies were not only decapitated, they had signs on them that said things like liar, or what was that? Was it cheater? I don't remember all of the names. But they had visible square signs on them that said these things, like what the person was, like a liar. And they never really explained, you know, why that was or anything. They just went about their business there, and then when they came back, they passed by the camp again, and the camp, everyone was dead, and the supplies were gone. And they never explained what happened, and I was always really curious about that. Like, who went back and did it? Did somebody go back and do that? Was there another group watching this camp in the woods that Martinez and the governor didn't see? Like, what happened? And they never explained it. And what we have heard from the producers and the writers is that there were so many clues in the first half of season 4 that will be answered in the second half. And I think that this is one of them, because in the promos that came out for the second half of season 4, we see one with Daryl in the clubhouse at the golf course, and he enters a room, and behind him there is a dead walker that is a woman, and her shirt is open and she's wearing just her bra, and she has a sign on her that says "Rich Bitch," and it is exactly like the signs from the cabin. So we know that we're going to see something along the same lines that we saw at the cabin here in the second half of season 4. My thought is, if you see that walker there, she's in her bra, she's been like stood up against a wall, either she was tied there or something, and she's got this sign on her, and it, you know, I just feel like it didn't end well for her. With these guys in the house that Rick was staying in, when they talk about rape, and they just seem like guys that don't care, they seem like these scum of the earth guys, doesn't that kind of make sense that they would not care about people and they would potentially rape this woman and then put a sign on her? I mean, it kind of adds up to me. I want to know what you guys think on this. Do you think that this theory is right, or are you still thinking that it's the hunters? If you are thinking it's the hunters, leave a comment and tell me why in the comments down below, or tell me what you think of this theory, because I really like it. I think that it ties up a lot of loose ends that we saw in the first half of season 4. Also, just a side note, we saw a promo pic, it wasn't a promo pic, it was a spoiler pic from filming over the summer, where Daryl was walking down the train tracks with a mysterious person. We didn't know who this guy was. Well, it's now come out, since we saw the latest episode, the guy that was sitting on the porch at the house Rick was staying in, when he was sitting on the porch, if you freeze that frame and look at his outfit and his gray hair and stuff, and then you look at the spoiler picture of Daryl and this man walking down the train tracks, the back of this guy's head has the same hair, and he's wearing the same vest and shirt that the guy on the porch was wearing. So we know that Daryl is going to somehow meet up with these bad guys. We don't see Beth. We don't have any idea what's going on, but we know that this is not the last that we've seen of these guys. And I really think that they're going to be our main conflict for the rest of this season, and we might not even see the hunters until next season. So that's it. That's the theory that I have. These guys are the Marauders and these are not the hunters. Feel free to let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and I have another video coming out on what I think Terminus is. Okay, I will see you guys next time. Bye.